On or off the field, I work overtime. On the court or not, I take charge of mine. Beast mode when it's game time. Turn the bass up when they play mine. Sports base, and you know it's live. We on front.
Welcome to Sports Base Radio. I'm your host, Laquane Copeland.
Yeah. I'm heavyweight Coach Baker.
This is Stephen Good, a.k.a. Boudah, and this is your favorite source for sports and hip-hop.
Yeah. And today, we got a special guest for you guys. None other than the homeboy, BeBe.
Thank you to Sports Base Radio. You know what I'm here for.
We know what you here for?
You know what I'm here for.
What you here for, man?
LBJ.
LBJ. Well, about LBJ, Game 3 is tonight. 7-game series. Cleveland versus Golden State. Super team versus super team. Although everybody try to make it like Cleveland ain't got no super team. But it's a super team, too. It just ain't as great as the other super team. But so far, Golden State got a 2-0 commanding lead. Who you got? What's going on?
I still have Cleveland. I don't know, just something in me is telling me we all saw this last year. I know Golden State's a different team. They got Kevin Durant now, which has been a huge asset to that team. He has carried the team single-handedly at times. And now that puts Cleveland in a bad spot where you now have another great scorer that you just can't stop. You can just hope and pray he doesn't get 25. But we saw it last year, and Cleveland came back from 3-1 to win in Game 7. So something in my gut is just telling me LeBron is not going to go out so easily. If they don't win, it's going to 7. But,
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cleveland. It's a tough game. Very, very tough team. Just from watching LeBron grow his career, so many people try to center this whole game. If Cleveland lose, LeBron's a failure, you know? Right. And I kind of want people to understand the process. Last year, when KD signed with Golden State, July 4th, July 5th, the King was ready for this moment. It's a tough, very, very, very tough challenge. But the great ones, this is what you have to do. So Game 3, it ain't over to the confetti drop, but this is definitely a very, very, very monumental game, and I'm looking for the King to lead his team to victory tonight. It's gonna be close, but I think he's gonna pull it off.
The words of the late great Tupac, the West Side ride tonight. Yeah. Just me personally, man, I think, not just speaking on the King, I think the King can handle the moment. I think, he always have handled the moment. He always put up great numbers. Besides that game with the Mavericks where he scored 11 points. But that's beside the point. Is his teammates, can they step to the plate? Because he can't do it by himself. It's no way possible. When you look at the series, Kyrie, he's a great scorer. He's an ISO type guy. But they need to get them guys moving, coming off screens, catching the ball, shooting it. JR need to come through. Darren Williams, Kyle Cole, all them guys, even though they're not great as Golden State's bench, they need to have a big game tonight or get the witch's broom.
Full sweep, huh?
Get the witch's broom. Let's do it die.
I think this is a sweep, and you think it's a sweep.
No.
You sit here and said that I know Cleveland has Kevin Durant, but it's something in my gut. Is it that beef jerky in your gut? Because I'm going to tell you what it is. It ain't nothing like last year. Last year, the Warriors jumped out and took a 2-0 lead, but it wasn't commanding. Now, what people will think is commanding is the point differential, because this year, the Warriors have beat them by a combined 41 points in 2 games. Mm-hmm. And last year, they beat them by a combined 47 points in 2 games. So one would think that, they did it last year, they can do it this year, because last year was worse. But it's one problem, and I'm not even going to start to get with Kevin Durant yet. it wasn't even the starters. It was the bench. It was Iguodala. It was Sean Livingston. And to a certain degree, to a lot of degree, it was Draymond Green. He was the only starter that was really cooking. Clay was off. Steph was off. Steph was off basically the whole time. And it was the bench. And then once they went to Cleveland, it was a wrap. Draymond got suspended. Bogut got hurt. Iguodala got hurt. A lot of things happened. Now, the same thing happened the year before with Irving and Kevin Love. That's why the Warriors won, because Cleveland had those significant injuries.
Decimated.
Same thing last year. That's why Cleveland won. Draymond got suspended. Once it flip-flopped, the momentum was gone. Fast forward this year. Kevin Durant signs a deal with the Warriors. I got on Facebook that morning. I said, it's over. I argued with him for about a week. But I knew it was over. It's just too much talent, man. You got 2 MVPs from back-to-back years. One unanimous, never been done. 2 MVPs back-to-back, never been done. That's 2 unprecedented situations, let alone you got top 3, arguably, 3-point shooter in the whole world. Klay Thompson. You got arguably the best point forward in the whole world. Draymond Green. Or if you were to say LeBron won, then you would say Draymond Green. I mean, who else would you say point forward better than Draymond Green? The only reason why I don't say LeBron, because I look at LeBron as everything. I mean, he's not in this category of, like, let's call him a point forward. Like, not really. Let's call him a point guard. Let's call him a man.
Let's call him a great player.
Let's call him a great player. But I'm talking about point forwards. Who would you put over Draymond Green?
It's not many.
Point forwards.
It's
He's really defining the position.
Only player that even comes close, and they really don't play the same position, is Giannis.
I knew you was going to say Giannis Antetokounmpo.
But he plays. He's like LeBron.
He
He plays
plays
everything.
everything. Yeah, he's a great player.
He led his team in all stats:
Right.
steals, blocks, rebounds, points. He led his team in everything. So you can't really count that because he is Milwaukee. Without him, there is no Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Who didn't do nothing last year? Festus Ezeli, Andrew Bogut, and Harrison Barnes. So you take those 3 guys out and you put Kevin Durant in.
Not to mention Maurice Spates missing bunnies at the rim.
It's just too tough.
And you say Bogut didn't do anything last year?
Not offensively.
That doesn't decide the game. As long as you contribute.
When you need to score points against Cleveland, it does.
True. But when LeBron was going to the rim, who's the only person to stop him? Game 1 through 5.
Draymond Green.
Stopping LeBron?
Draymond Green.
Come on, man.
It wasn't
It
Bogut.
wasn't Bogut. It wasn't Bogut.
It wasn't Bogut.
Always rearranging his shots.
When you take those guys out and you put Kevin Durant in, the second best player in the world, and you put him around all those guys, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, you put them around snipers, and you open the floor, literally. I mean, I know a lot of the commentators say it, so it sounds cliche, but I mean, you literally open the floor for a 6'11" dude that can do everything. These guys going to be tough to beat.
Yeah. Game 5, we all know Draymond Green was suspended. Bogut goes down.
Right.
So the next 2 games, Draymond comes back. What happened?
But you can't really use that when your momentum has
Momentum has shifted.
How? 1 game?
2 games.
2 games. He was out game 5. He come back game 6. Their momentum was still going into game 6.
Yeah.
It was down 3-1. It was only 3-2 going into game 6.
So you're not factoring Draymond Green in them winning that series at all?
No.
Because look, let's say Draymond Green plays the next game. Do they win?
I bet you by
Yeah. I'm not
It's
arguing.
over. It's over then.
Yeah, if was the 5th, we all be drunk. I always say that. But he had 2 more games after game 5, which he played phenomenal in game 7.
He did.
After Bogut went down game 5, what happened? Game 6 and 7.
I agree. All I'm saying is if he would have played that next game and not get suspended, I don't think we go that far.
Yeah, true.
But because of the fact that the momentum has shifted, Cleveland started feeling themselves. LeBron started looking down on Steph Curry.
One game.
One game.
It was still 3-2.
But if he would have played, they could have possibly beat him the game before it took to get there.
No, but you're telling me the whole series changed in.
When Draymond went out.
When Draymond went out.
Yeah, but
Yes.
but he still had 2 more games to prove himself. Correct.
He had 2 more games.
And
to
what
prove
did he?
something.
What did he do? Game 7, phenomenal. 5 for 5, 30 points. What? 10 rebounds, 8 assists, something like that.
I can't argue with you. I'm
just saying.
saying is I don't think it would have went that far.
Yeah.
You argue Draymond's numbers. You say he scored 30 and 10,
Game 7.
8 boards. But I'm looking at the best player on the team going 1 for 6 from the field and 1 for 5 from the 3 in the fourth quarter. So I'm looking at that as, okay, if Steph Curry was on and cooking, then we talking a different ball game, maybe. So, I mean, I can't look at it. I mean, I'm looking at it like Draymond going out really was detrimental to that series.
Definitely, it definitely was detrimental, but he still had 2 more. Yeah, I could like him get suspended was Game 7. He had 2 more chances to redeem himself.
Yeah, but
He had to lose.
Can I
They
ask
could
you a
lose
question?
again.
Can I ask you a
They had
question?
the
All right,
momentum.
let's say, and I never put injury on the player. Let's just use last year's series. If LeBron goes down Game 5, comes back game, would you be saying the same thing?
What?
You would be like, well, the momentum LeBron got hurt. You would be saying the same thing if he would have went down.
When the year when K-Love and Kyrie went down, I never complained because it's the next man up.
you should have.
It's the next man
Yeah,
up.
but I know.
It's the next man up.
That's
for-
cliche.
It's the next man up.
Fact,
Cliche.
you want confident with Dellavedova.
If it was the next man up, everybody would get paid the same.
Same,
You
yes.
got guys getting paid $20 million, $30 million. You got guys getting paid $10 million, $5 million. It's a reason that J.R. Smith makes $10 million and LeBron makes $30.
It's the finals. There's nothing else after this. There's nothing else after this.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I can argue your
But you
point.
say next
just-
man up. I'm
Yeah.
a Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
When Tony Romo got hurt 2 years ago, and I had to ride with Matt Castle.
That's different.
How?
That's
You said
different.
next man up.
That's
Huh?
next man up.
You said
Let me
next
tell
man
you,
up.
because one person, LeBron literally almost
Let
single-handedly.
LeBron get hurt. It's gonna be next man up.
You can't. That's a once in a lifetime
So
type
you
of
can't
time.
argue that.
Yeah, you can, but what I'm saying is in that situation, he single-handedly K-Love and Kyrie was already done.
Right.
Did he not take him to? He should have won Game 1. He missed that's he should have taken him to the rack.
Right,
He
right.
want to pull up. He
Right.
losing overtime,
Right.
but he still win Game 2 and 3. Correct.
Right.
With these same guys.
Right,
It wasn't no different guys. These are the same guys that he had.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Correct.
right.
All right. In the sports, we all see greatness. You know, everybody want to see someone complete this the inevitable. When Tom Brady was down 28-25 this year, everybody couldn't believe it when he came back and did it. But it was greatness.
Okay.
That's what as a sport player, those are the moments that you live in.
Right.
I feel like the same moment that the King is in now, he was in that moment when K-Love and Kyrie went down.
Well, he lost.
Yeah. So
So he's gonna lose this year.
But what I'm talking about what's at hand, what he could accomplish with the greatness. If LeBron would have went on and beat that team by itself,
Right.
we'd be having totally different conversations right now.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
But like you just told me 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If a fifth was a what? What
If
you
if
say?
was a fifth, we'd all be
I
drunk.
will. If it was a fifth, I'd be drunk.
Yeah,
If it was a fifth, I'd
pour
be
it
drunk.
out.
Right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's at hand? Like, I'm not complaining. Like, most people want to say they want to down KD for doing it. I don't down KD for doing it because I know what he did it for. KD wanted to be able. He's in a situation where he's going to compete for championships for the rest of his career. As long as he stays in Golden State, he will compete for championships for the rest of his career.
And not only that, when we talk great ball players that will play the game, KD is arguably he's not going to be the great at the end of the night. We're going to be like KD is the greatest.
No, he ain't.
But you never know at this point.
No, man. You just
but
say
do you see
what team he on?
we judge
Yeah.
people now off championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude got 6 rings, he got 8 rings.
See, but
Kevin
that's-
Durant don't want to be like Charles Barkley when them other cats talking
No, yeah.
about rings. Charles Barkley doing like this.
Yeah.
You
See,
know
but
what I'm
that's
saying?
one of those things.
You want that ring.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of to being in professional sports is to shoot for that championship. You're right.
Yeah.
But me personally, a championship would be great, but I want to be the greatest. Whether that's because I won more championships or not. Bill Russell won, what was it? It was
11.
11? Do you consider him the greatest?
Robert Horry got 7.
Oh, he ain't.
Okay,
He was a grasshopper.
but you know,
But he was a contributor.
He
he was a contributor, but Bill Russell was the Celtics at that point in
Right,
time.
right.
He won 11.
Right.
Is he the greatest? No. Just because you have championships does not mean you are not a great player, or it doesn't mean you are a great
You
player.
gotta have him though.
Yeah.
I swear you gotta
But
have
gotta
him.
have
If you want to be up there with Tom Brady and guys like that, you gotta have a ring.
Gotta
you
have
gotta
it.
have a ring.
I can't argue this. The
No.
way you win them
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
big emphasis on it.
Yeah.
Like he said,
Yeah.
if LeBron would have beat that team,
Yeah.
that's the moment.
No,
you
you're
live
right.
for.
The
Yeah.
way you
Okay.
win them, yes. But by just winning them, to me, that you won a championship. That is great for your career. That's great for your city. But does that make you more likely to be in the Hall of Fame, or you go down as great? Steve Kerr won 5. Is he considered one of the greats? No, he's considered a really good role player. He was a glue player. Robert Horry, he was a glue
He's
player.
gonna be a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be a Hall of Fame coach.
He'll be a
You're
Hall
right
of
for
Fame
jumping
coach.
into a winning situation already.
That Mark Jackson put together.
But he,
Yeah,
but
you know,
he
that's
made
a
it. He
different-
made it
he
what
made
it
it
was,
better.
though. He made it
He made
better.
it
yo.
better.
You're right.
made it-
He brought a
Yeah.
65 winning team to a 73
No,
winning team.
no,
I'm
no,
exaggerating.
no, 65
I'm
guys.
exaggerating.
You gotta
Okay,
be.
I'm not being literal, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
gotta be literal.
He took a team that was already great, was missing a couple players,
But they was missing the ingredients.
And
and he put it together.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking him down for that. I'm not. He will still be one of the greatest coaches.
sped him up on offense. He changed the way he moved.
You're
the
right,
ball.
but
You know,
as a player. Well, what is he a Hall of Famer? No. Is he even
No.
considered one of the greats? No,
who,
he's
who,
not.
Who debating that though?
That's my point, though. For everybody is saying that these players are better than these players, or because of championships. That was the original argument that we were just going off of.
Right. Well, that's usually how it is. I mean, if you look
Then
at
why
Russell-
isn't Bill Russell number one?
Bill
'Cause-
Russell not number one, but Shaq.
To be the best, you have to be able to play
Shaq
in
got
every
rings.
era. No, but Shaq could.
Olajuwon.
But Shaq didn't
Like
even
those
have
guys
to.
are great.
But Shaq didn't
Tim
even.
Duncan,
Hey,
great.
hey, listen to
Kobe,
this.
great.
Hey, but listen
Mike,
to this.
Great. Bron, great. All the great. I mean,
Charles Barkley, great.
He
Karl
got
Malone.
none.
but I can give you like
But
three.
they're
but
still
I can,
great.
But I can give you so many power forwards that was better than him.
Okay, Karl Malone.
Karl
He is
Malone.
arguably the second highest scoring player of all time.
And I still can
One
give
of
you.
the best defensive players in his position. In his position,
Charles Barkley ain't won't play no defense.
Karl Malone. That's who I said. Karl
Okay,
Malone
okay,
is
my
the
bad,
second
my
highest
bad.
scorer of all time.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
He had a hump where he could not get over. It was because of Jordan.
Right.
He also had another player on his team, one of the greatest defensive players and point guards of all time, John Stockton.
Okay.
They are Hawks. They are also in the 50 greatest of all time.
Okay.
When you talk about point guards, Stockton, his name is automatically thrown up in there. Whether
Okay.
he's not knocked out first, yes.
Okay.
But does he get overshadowed by people who win championships? Yes, you are right.
Players better than him though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's the
Karl
best.
Malone.
I'm not
I'm
saying
talking
that.
about the best. The people who got rings are the best.
But that's because that's all they look at.
Yeah, but what
They
you
done
just
it.
said when you wake up when you want to play sports,
You want
when
to
you-
win the
you
ring.
want
Yes,
to win
that's
the
your
ring.
ultimate goal. I'm not saying that
You give me the greatest player who don't got a ring.
in sports.
And I don't care what sport we're talking about. Serena Williams, any of them. You give me the
See, but that's the
greatest-
thing is that
you-
because people they jump to that great place. Jordan,
Because they
he's
get
a
it.
great but Jordan, he's a great example. People jump to his team because they wanted to win. Granted, he also took a giant pay cut because he knew endorsements
Who
and
jumped to his team?
Rodman,
Rodman.
who's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Do you want to have this argument with
Just a
him?
rebounder. He just
Alright.
a Tristan Thompson.
And who's
He
better
just
than him
Tristan
defensively?
Huh?
Who could he not guard?
Could he score?
It doesn't. He
make
could
a
if he
free
wanted
throw?
to.
Robin
He
had
could.
games where he had 2 points
He-
and 21
He
rebounds.
could.
But he could have if he wanted to.
To be,
he could.
to be honest,
He
it was-
averaged
it was-
7 points a game. If you watched him play, he gave up open layups Just he knew his role.
He probably would mess it up.
So he didn't want to make the layup.
No, he knew his role. He knew I'm
He
not
didn't
here.
wanna make
I
the
get
layup.
paid to defend
Right.
and rebound. He
Right.
could have easily averaged. You think he could have averaged 3 more points?
His
3.
offensive game was horrible.
You don't think he could have averaged 3 more points? 3.
Free throw shooting was
say
abysmal.
that saying again.
No, I'm not saying, but 3 more points.
If was a fifth,
You're-
we'd all
you're
be
right.
drunk.
If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You're right. I'm not saying that.
Hey, look, we're going to wrap this segment up. We're going to come back in a minute, folks. We're going to get back to y'all on this one.